Good morning. I am Dr. B. Krishna Reddy, Principal Samala Krishna Agricultural Polytechnic College, Tangelavaripalli, near Mudivedu, Tamballapalli Mandal, Chittoor district. Today, we are continuing course number 153, that is Agriculture Engineering Chemistry. In that, lecture number 7, that is conduction of electrolytes. Conductance of electrolytes. Electrolyte solutions conduct electric current through them by movement of the ions to the electrodes. So actually electrical conductivity, suppose if it is a solid metals like copper or iron, electricity will flow without any movement of any molecule of the element. But in case of electrolyte solution, when the electrical current will pass through it through movement of the ions to the electrodes. This is the difference between the electrolyte solution and the metallic electrical conductors. The power of electrolytes to conduct the electrical current is termed as conductivity or conductance. So what is this conductivity or conductance means? It is the power of the electrolyte to conduct electric current is known as either conductivity or conductance. Like metallic conductors, electrolytes obey Ohm's law. This Ohm's law is famous with regard to the resistance of material to the passage of the electric current, especially in metallic elements. But with regard to electrical conductance of electrolytes also, this Ohm's law is applicable. So let us see what is this Ohm's law. According to this Ohm's law, I is equal to E by R. Students are requested to remember this formula, where I is a current flowing in the conductor or through the electrolyte solution. E is the potential difference between the two ends. If you take a metallic element, it is the potential difference between the two ends of the electrical conductor. R is the resistance measured in ohms. So this is the resistance offered by the conductor to the passage of the electrical current through it. So R offered by a conductor is directly proportional to its length L and inversely proportional to the area of the cross section of that conductor, that is A. Suppose if you say the length of the electrical conductor is L and the area that is the cross section of that conductor is A, then R is the resistance. R is directly proportional to L, that is the length of the conductor, and it is inversely proportional to A, that is the area or the cross section of that conductor. So if you rewrite it, then what we get is R is equal to rho. It is RHO, rho. It looks like a P, but it is a Greek word. It is called rho, L by A, where rho is a constant. So rho is a constant of proportionality and is called resistivity or specific resistance. So students are requested to remember this. Rho is a constant of proportionality and it is called as resistivity of that conductor or a specific resistance of the conductor. Its value depends upon the material of the conductor. So this rho depends on the what type of material is the conductor is, on that it depends. So rho is equal to R into A by L. If L is 1 centimeter and A is 1 centimeter square, then rho is equal to R units ohm per centimeter. It is very simple, isn't it? Rho is equal to R into A by L. If you derive it, what we get is rho is equal to R units ohms per centimeter. The specific resistance of a conductor is the resistance in ohms which 1 centimeter cube of it offers to the passage of the electricity. In a simple terms, what it means is the specific resistance means of a conductor, any material, either it is electrolyte or a metallic conductor, is the resistance in ohms. The resistance measured in ohms in any conductor which 1 centimeter cube of it offers, that is 1 cubic centimeter of the conductor offers to the passage of the electricity, that is called specific resistance. That is, specific resistance means ఒక క్యూబిక్ సెంటీమీటర్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ కండక్టర్ ఏదైతే ఉందో అది ఎంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫర్ చేస్తుందో దాని ద్వారా ప్రవహించేటువంటి విద్యుత్తుని దాన్ని స్పెసిఫిక్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ అంటాము. ఓకే, that is measured in ohms. So this is a simple figurative representation. This specific conductor, 1 centimeter width, 1 centimeter depth and 1 centimeter height, that is 1 cubic centimeter. When the electricity is passing through this, what is the resistance offered by this cubic centimeter to the electricity passing through it is called as a specific resistance or resistivity. It is measured in ohms. Okay, it is clear that substance which offers very little resistance to the flow of current allows more current to pass through it. It is as simple as this. When there is a very little resistance or no resistance, what does it mean? It allows the current to pass it through it with less resistance. That means more current can be passed through it. Therefore, the power of the substance to conduct electricity or conductivity is the converse of the resistance. So, resistivity or resistance is reverse of the conductivity. So up to now we have seen what is resistance. Then if we say what is conductivity, it is the power of a substance or the electrical conductor that allows to pass current to pass through it. So resistivity or resistance is opposite of the conductivity or conductance. Is it clear? Then the reciprocal of specific resistance is termed as a specific conductivity. It's simple. So specific resistance opposite is specific conductivity. It is defined as the conductance of 1 centimeter cube of a solution of an electrolyte and it is denoted by K kappa. So electrical specific conductivity, from electrical conductivity opposite is electrical resistivity. Electrical specific resistance and specific conductivity. Okay, so simply we can say that the specific conductivity means it is nothing but the conduction of 1 cubic centimeter of the solution of an electrolyte, or it can be a metallic conductor also, and it is denoted by K, that is kappa. So therefore specific conductivity is denoted by this formula. K is equal to 1 by rho, that is equal to 1 by R into L by A. Students are supposed to remember this equation or formula. Okay. Units. Specific conductivity is expressed in reciprocal ohms or mhos or ohms per centimeter. Okay. Ohms to the power -1. Okay. So that means it is opposite to the resistance. So resistance is measured in ohms, whereas its reciprocal entity, that is specific conductivity, is expressed in reciprocal ohms. Okay, so K conductivity or kappa is 1 by rho is equal to 1 by R into L by A, which means in terms of centimeters, one is 1 centimeter divided by centimeter into centimeter into 1 by ohm. That is equal to ohm to the power minus 1 per centimeter. So like this, conductivity will be expressed. The internationally recommended unit for ohm or mho is Siemens, that is inverse of ohm. This is called inverse of ohm, or MHO. Mho is internationally it is named as Siemens, or it is represented by capital S. This Siemens is named after Sir William Siemens, scientist. Okay. So for K, the units can be referred as capital S per centimeter. This way you can represent. And this is the symbol for that. Specific conductance increases with the ionic concentration, sigma, or speed of the ions concerned. So specific conductivity increases with the ionic concentration. If the ionic concentration is more, then the specific conductance will be more. Likewise, when the speed of the ions concerned, when the electrolytes get ionized, and the speed of the ions is also decides the conductance. That is, when the conductance increases, it is based on the if the speed of the ions also. That means if the speed of the ions is more, then conductance will be more. Okay. While measuring specific conductivity of the aqueous solution of an electrolyte, the volume of water in which a certain weight of electrolyte dissolved is always measured in cubic centimeters. It is while measuring the specific conductivity, aqueous solution means a solution made by dissolving an electrolyte in water. The volume of water in which certain weight of electrolyte is dissolved is always measured in cubic centimeter. Just like any other metallic conductors, the electrolyte conductor is also measured in cubic centimeters. This is known as dilution. What it means, when any electrolyte substance is dissolved in water or a solvent where the solvent is a water, then it is referred to as a aqueous solution. So in the aqueous solution also measured in terms of cubic centimeters. This is known as dilution. What it means is, it is a dilution. When you are diluting or dissolving a certain substance, electrolyte in a water, then that character is property is known as dilution. If the volume of the solution is VCC, that is V cubic centimeters, specific conductivity of such solution at the dilution V is written as K. Then comes the last lecture in this unit, that is measurement of electrolytic conductance. So how we measure the electrolytic conductance, that is conductance of electricity through an electrolyte. Conductance is the reciprocal of resistance. This is what up to now we are very thorough with. So conductance and reciprocal resistance are both are opposite. The value of resistance can be determined by comparing it with the known resistance in Wheatstone's bridge circuit. So this Wheatstone bridge circuit is an instrument used to measure the resistance. So conductance, the value of the resistance can be determined by comparing it with the known resistance in a Wheatstone's bridge circuit. The solution whose conductance is to be determined is placed in a special type of cell known as the conductance cell. So to find out the electrical conductivity or conductance of an electrolyte, we use a specific cell known as a conductance cell. Kindly remember, this is a conductance cell is an apparatus wherein we put the solution of the electrolyte to find out its conductivity or conductance. Okay. Then electrodes are made of platinum plates coated with platinum black. This is the description of the conductance cell. How the conductance cell works or how it looks like, we are explaining it. For this, let us see how it looks like in the next page. This is the diagram of a conductance cell. This is electrical conductance cell. Here these are called, this is a jar in which platinum disc 2 electrodes. This is one electrode. This is also one electrode which is made up of platinum, and it is coated with platinum black, and it is been attached with the platinum wire. Okay, platinum electrodes coated with platinum black and being attached with the platinum wires to a thin tube, very thin tube containing mercury in it, and which is being connected to the circuit, electrical circuit. That means the electricity will be in direct contact with the platinum electrodes through mercury and through this platinum wire, because this platinum wire fuses with the thin walled glass tubes in which the mercury is being kept. Okay, this entire instrument is covered with a lid, and the distance between these two platinum electrodes will be kept constant without any change. This is how the conductivity cell will looks like. Now let us go back to the description and details of the conductance cell. So the electrodes are made of platinum plates coated with platinum black, I already explained, and welded to a platinum wires fused into two thin glass tubes. So this description we have shown in the picture. The contact with the copper wires of the circuit is made by dipping them in the mercury contained in the tubes and are firmly fixed into the ebonite cover of the cell, so that the distance between the electrodes may not alter during the experiment. This is the main purpose. So the distance between the electrodes should not vary during the experimentation period. So for that, the entire instrument is kept in a fixed ebonite cover inside and kept in a cover, so that there will not be any variation in the distance between the two electrodes while conducting the experiment. Contact with platinum is made by dipping the copper wires of the circuit in mercury contained in the tubes. The main difficulty in determining the resistance of the solution of an electrolyte is that electrolysis of the solution takes place simultaneously with the conduction of the current, and this produces two complications. So while measuring the resistance or conductance, there are two complications in the experiment. Number one, polarization soon sets in and causes the resistance to vary. When the electricity is passed through this electrolyte, polarization will take place, which results in the variation in the resistance. What is polarization? An increase in the electrical resistance of an electrolyte due to various causes, chiefly associated with the accumulation of molecules on the electrodes at which they are liberated. So why this accumulation polarization happens is, after the ionization, depending upon the charges, these ionized electrolyte substance ions will move to their opposite electrodes, and thereby polarization takes place. This polarization will affect the resistance, and the resistance will vary from time to time. This is one disadvantage. The other one is the concentration of the solution get altered. To avoid this complication, alternate current is employed from an induction coil with a frequency of 1000 times a second. So generally when you use DC direct current, what happens is this complication, the concentration of the solution will get altered. To avoid this increase or decrease in the concentration of the solution because of ionization, we use the alternate current. So in this alternate current, that too through an induction coil with a frequency of 1000 times per second. So the galvanometer is replaced by head telephone magic eye for detecting the flow of the current in the place of galvanometer. In this conductance cell, instead of using the galvanometer, we use the head telephone magic eye to detect the flow of the current. Then measurement of specific conductivity. As we know, conductivity is the reciprocal of the resistance. It can be determined by measuring the resistance of the electrolytic solution. This can be done in a laboratory with the help of Wheatstone's bridge. So we know that conductivity is the reciprocal of the resistance. By measuring the resistance, we can know the conductance of a particular electrolyte. So once again, we will see a diagrammatic representation of how specific conductivity can be measured by using the resistance box as well as the conductance cell. Let us see the pictorial diagram first so that it can be understood easily. This is a metallic wire on which a hook will be moving. It can be moved depending upon our requirement. This is a resistance box where resistance of the conductor can be measured. This is the conductivity cell which we have already explained here. Conductivity cell. Okay. Then this is a magnetic wire stretched on a scale which is marked with scale markings with mm 1 millimeter scale, and this is the alternate current. So when the alternate current is passes, then we will start moving this H along with this manganic wire. This is a manganic wire, and where the sound is very less, that point we have to remember. Where then based on the distance of on this wire, that is H to B or H to A, then we can calculate how much is the resistance and how much is the conductance. Now let us go back to the theory. Kindly remember this pictorial diagram, and in the examination also we are supposed to draw this diagram. So AB is a manganic wire. What is a manganic wire means? It contains copper 13 to 17% and manganese electrical resistive wire. This is a manganic wire which contains an alloy of copper with 13 to 17%. This AB manganic wire is tightly stretched over a meter scale graduated in mm. We already explained. This manganic wire is stretched over a meter scale which is graduated or which is divided into millimeters. A sliding contact, that is moving contact, which is called as H, shown by arrowhead, moves along this wire. It can be moved along with the wire. R is a resistance box. C is the conductance cell containing electrolyte solution. So I is the induction coil from which alternate current is led as shown in the diagram. I is a induction coil from which AC current is passed. When the current is flowing, sound will be heard in the headphone. So instead of galvanometer, we are advised to use the headphones. Then we have to start listening to the sound. When the electricity is passing, the sound will emanate. We can hear it clearly. Any resistance is unplugged in the resistance box R. The sliding contact H is moved until the sound in the headphone is minimum. So this H should be moved on the wire, manganic wire, in such a way that to the point where we will hear very minimal sound. Up to that level, it need to be moved. This point is called null point. So we have to see and measure what is the null point from both ends of this wire. That is, at null point, resistance of C by resistance of R is equal to resistance of BH. That is the distance between H and the B, one side end of the conductor, we have seen in the pictorial diagram, divided by resistance of the AH, which is equal to length of the BH divided by length of the AH. Okay, clear? Any doubt about this formula? No doubt. Resistance of C is equal to length of BH divided by length of AH, which can be measured on the scale, and resistance into resistance R. Since the resistance is proportional to the length of the uniform conductor, the resistance measured above can be converted into specific conductance by using the equation. So this resistance can be, after finding out the resistance by the above formula, we can now convert this into a specific conductance by using the following formula: K minus 1 by R into L by A. Sorry, it is not K minus, K is equal to 1 by R into L by A, which means K is equal to 1 by R into X. Okay, so L by A is equal to X. That is distance between the electrodes divided by area of the electrodes. We have seen what is the electrode. These are the platinum electrodes. So distance between the electrodes and area of the electrodes into X is a cell constant. Okay, the value of X is the same for a given cell. This cell constant will be same for a given cell, and it is called as a cell constant. Okay, this figure I think we already explained. So with this, we are concluding the 8th lecture also. Next lecture will be lecture number 9, that is unit 5. Next lecture will contain nearly 14 pages, but compared to other chapters, this is a little bit easy also. This is related to water sources, impurities, hardness of water, types of hardness, degrees of hardness, and hardness disadvantages, and hard water for industrial and agricultural uses, etc. This lesson is going to be very useful from the point of not only examination, from the practical point of view also, because this is going to be helpful at the field level to understand what is the hardness of water and what is the disadvantages of hardness of water in different usages, and how it can be overcome, etc. Things will be discussed, that will take up in the next class. Thank you.